Wow, we ran out the clock twice on that one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the game. This is, not in full screen. 1 second, let me go ahead and get this proper for us. There we go. This is Mysterious Thief Forget-Me-Not, at least the demo of it. I'm just checking it out for right now, though I think it'll be going on sale relatively soon. It is Pride Month, so I wanted to play at least one little fun, proud indie game. And this one caught my attention. It looked very fun, so we're going to check it out. Wilskin Museum of Art and History, May 5th! Very early in the morning. This is TT News, coming to you live over Forget-Me-Not's latest heist. Oh, she's a cutie. Forget-Me-Not Illy? Oh, I love you. That's what it means. Infamous Phantom Thief's target. This time is the sunrise glow of Europe's largest topaz. The museum curator, Sir Wilkins, received a calling card from the aforementioned thief just a few days prior. I actually had to do a bit of research into what a phantom thief was for some project I was doing. And there's very much the calling card aspect is the big part of it. On 1 a.m. on the 5th, I will shine down upon the sunrise glow is what was written on the card. We'll keep you updated until the time mentioned, sending it back to the studio for now. Shout out to Rempai. As the feed switches back to the main station, I turn off my phone and look at the ever-growing crowd at the foot of the museum. What a crowd. Those newscasters always do such a good job talking up these heists. Just the way I like it. A walkie at my hip beeps while I'm lost in thought, bringing my attention back to answer the call on the other end. How's everything looking down there? She's got a monocle. I thought it was like a weird, very thin mask, but it's a monocle, because of course it is. Very Arsene Lupin, much approved. Breaker's been prepped. The jewel's been double-checked, semicolon. Everything's as smooth as can be, kid. Perfect, good work. This is gonna be great. Don't get cocky now. No worries. I'm just ready to have some fun. Everyone, listen up. Our conversation is interrupted by the very loud and just as commanding voice of the detective below in the gallery. Speaking of fun... We've only got a few minutes left before that damn thief attempts to steal the jewel. Station yourselves at every possible entrance. Using yourselves? Listexi is a bitch. Every possible entrance they could even think of using, and notify me of anything suspicious. See what we got in the background here. Got ballet, ballet, ballet. Noticing a theme. Looks like possibly more ballet or a stage performance over there. And a upside-down tulip? Interesting. Oh, and we have the Crown of the Sea over there, too. Do I make myself clear? Yes, sir! Okay, here we go. On cue, after the detective's little pep talk, the officers spread themselves out around the vicinity, hoping to cover every entrance and exit they can with their numbers. Someone seems motivated tonight. I'm in position. Ready to go when you are, kid. All right, wait for my signal. Got it. I look back at the crowd, banners, flags, and posters in hand, starting the countdown to the hour. 10, 9. With a little stretch, I hop over into position. Guess that's my cue. Let's give these people the show they're looking for. 8, 7. We took a bit of a pause. 6, 5, 4. 3, 2, 1. The sudden darkness, the officers stationed inside the exhibit shared a worried look and whispers with any neighbors they can see. Everyone stay calm! This is just one of their tricks. With an annoyed look on their face, the detective pulls out the radio in one hand, while the other pulls out a flashlight to see around them. What's the situation in the breaker room? Sir, the breaker's been tampered with. Oh, you got a good face. That's a good face. It doesn't look like we can get it up on our own. There's probably a remote switch connected to it the thief is using. That damned. I want that breaker up and running immediately. Forget-me-not could be here any minute, right, Detective? My apologies, gentlemen, for the late start of tonight's show. Oh, my apologies for the late start of tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen. They're here! Forget-me-not! Letting out their pent-up anticipation, the crowd goes absolutely wild over my entrance. The vigor and enthusiasm of the crowd outside is a stark contrast to the mood of the inside of the museum as the detective and their men surround me. Forget-me-not! We've got you surrounded. Give yourself up! Good evening to you, Detective O'Malley. So overjoyed by my presence as always, I see. And you're as cocky as ever. You must realize that you have nowhere left to run in this situation. We just ran in. My officers have the breaker room secured after your little stunt just now. You won't be able to use your veil of darkness to escape like in the past, thief. Leaning against the display case, I give Detective O'Malley a playful smile and chuckle. And what's so funny this time? You just seem so sure of yourself, Detective. You won't be able to use your veil of darkness. How long did it take you to come up with that little quip? You hardly have a leg to stand on here, you magician wannabe. True, true. But who's to say that darkness is the only way to make it escape? With a little tap on the glass, I turn my attention to my target before me. Isn't that right, Sunrise Glow? Ooh, clever. Ah! Quick, cover your eyes! I like it. Once the harsh light fades, Detective O'Malley and their men slowly open their eyes, semicolon. Those that didn't make it in time start rubbing them to subdue the pain. Phew. Is everyone all right? I think so. My eyes! Sir, the jewel! I have taken the Sunrise Glow. Forget-me-not. That damned... Forget-me-not! Pretty fun so far. Desiree. Far away from the sound of sirens and the cheering crowd, I finally made it back to the little attic I call home. Good work tonight. Thwump. With a satisfied grin, I flop onto my bed, holding the jewel I won above me in the moonlight. Careful you don't smack yourself in the face with that thing, kid. You're saying that as if I'm the one with butterfingers. Smack. As if to spite me, the jewel falls out of my hand and hits me in the face, prompting a chuckle out of my partner. Ow. You were saying? Well, hush. I suppose some introductions are in order. Desiree LeChance, whom you know as the fantastic Phantom Thief Forget-Me-Not up to this point. I've been doing these heists of mine for over 3 years, wowing the crowds and running circles around the cops who chase after me. Could we maybe not do a light show next time? I thought I was gonna go blind earlier. That's why I said not to look at the jewel, you dumb. The snarky man before me is Suong Kim, though he goes by his thief name Crow most of the time. Yatagarasu! Yatagarasu, another phantom thief. Yep, you heard me right. He's also a thief, just not as eccentric as I am. He focuses on finding and revealing shady secrets about high-ranking officials or businessmen in the area. Ooh. Blackmailer? To me, however, he's my mentor, accomplice, and kind of adopted uncle. It's a long story, so just take my word for it. But anyways, I have something to tell you. Hmm? What is it? Well, you've been working so hard as of late, juggling these heists and civilian life and such. So I talked to a friend who owed me a favor and pulled some strings. And got these. He reaches into his pants pocket and pulls out a pair of tickets. Handing one to me, I can see the Pavlova Ballet's Swan Lake written on ornate cursive font. Wait, aren't these for the big ballet on Friday? You got that right. Figure you deserve a break. So, how about it, kid? That's awesome! Thanks so much. Anytime. Be sure to let Ramona know you're going to take Friday night off. Of course. Now off to bed with you. You can send that jewel back. You can send back the jewel on your way to work in the morning. Okay. Good night, Crow. Night, Desiree. Send it back? I take it we are an enemy of the British Museum, then. The excitement of the heist must have drained all my energy. As soon as I laid in bed, I instantly fell fast asleep. Next morning comes quickly and begins like any other. Dead. Completely dead. After going through my usual routine of making my bed, getting dressed, and packing up my bag for work, I do a little stretch. Good morning, world. Let's get today started. Occasionally, during story events, you'll be able to explore the environment by clicking around. The mouse icon will change when you're hovering over something you can interact with, and if you've seen everything you can in a certain clickable areas, then it'll checkmark. You can also, in some places, click left and right on the screen to pivot to a new location. Thank you. Good tutorial. Oh, and we have highlights. Love me highlights. Dead. Dead crow. Stack of boxes. Even though we live here, this is still an attic. We try to leave as much room for any boxes and such we try to leave as much room for any boxes and such for the bar as we can if there's no space in the storage room, and even help organize it. Although Andre is really good about organizing things, so there aren't many boxes left over to begin with. Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm not ever gonna attempt to wake him up. Last time I tried to wake him up before noon, he gave me an hour-long lecture about it. At this point, I've just accepted that he's fused to his bed until the afternoon. Dead. Crow's still asleep, so I can't turn on the TV to check the news yet. Though right now they're probably just talking about the weather report for the week. I can't wait until I'm at work to tune in. Go downstairs. Photo. In the midst of my before-work prep, I shift my gaze to the writing desk next to my bedside and realized I'd forgotten something. I picked up the photo that was sitting there and still at them solemnly and whispered to myself. Hey, Mom. Hey, Mama. Hey, Papa. I'm heading to work now. Don't worry, I won't overdo it this time. I hope you two are doing all right. I miss you. I gently put the photo back in its place, giving it a little pat, and focus on getting ready for work once more. Just double-checking. Yep, bed made. I hate leaving the bed a mess after I wake up. It's just instinct at this point. Only I could wrestle Crow into following my habits every now and then. Making the bed, I know some people swear by it, but it is the most useless thing you can do with your time, I think. The only place I could hide my outfit. I wanted it to be flashy, so I customized it with the fabric flowers. And some really devoted fans have tried making replicas of it, so I can take it with me when I'm doing laundry, no problem. Though I'm not sure how I feel about that, if I'm being honest. Wonder what Andre put on the board today. Today's schedule: grocery shopping on Thursday. Oh, and a note. Please don't enter the attic through the window. You're lucky most of my patrons leave drunk. Sorry, Andre. I think that should be it. Appears to be it. Go downstairs! I think I'm good to head down now. I wonder if Andre's done prepping for the day. After going downstairs, I'm greeted by the sight of an empty bar, tables, glasses, and the like cleaned to prepare the day's patrons. The owner and bartender waves at me from behind the counter, setting down a glass as he was wiping. Good morning, Desiree. Good morning, Andre. This is Andre Daniels, the owner of the bar and restaurant we live on top of, the Gallant Rogue. Well, I cannot turn those off. He and Crow have known each other for years, and even before I joined the team, Crow was lodging in his attic, so he's used to this. Let me know when you want something to eat before you head out, alright? Will do. Looming over me is an impressive collection of alcohol Andre keeps in the bar. Wines, vodkas, brandies. If he doesn't have it on the wall, he'll try to get his hands on it for the sake of it. And yet Crow won't let me have even a single drop of anything alcoholic. It's not fair. How am I supposed to know if I like it if he won't even let me try it? I'm 24, for God's sakes. I can handle even a little bit. I look up at the TV on the wall, while they're talking about the local traffic. Movement on the lower stretches of the new city has slowed due to light altercation, but should clear in the next hour. They usually talk about my latest heist later in the morning. Probably so all the people who came out to watch can get enough sleep in. Kitchen, bar entrance, the bar menu, the boy. Oh, full screen. Scattered around the walls of the bar are photos of the highlights of Twin Bells. The Twin Bells Tower, the museum, the theater hall, all the things that bring people to visit the city of ours. There's also various memorabilia related to the famous thief that took the city by storm, the Scarlet Rose. Scarlet Rose was the phantom thief that came years before me, and is considered part of our history now. He was a master of disguise, and quite the charmer from what I heard. He retired before I was born. Andre told me that he named the bar in homage to them, but Crow likes to imagine that the moniker fits him too. Pool cues. Andre's prized cues. He uses them when he plays games with someone in the night. He told me they're hand-me-downs from his dad's side of the family, but he's taken such good care of them they look brand new. The pride and joy of the bar, other than the bar itself, of course. Andre has a special rule where if a customer beats him in a game of 8-ball, they get a free drinks for the night. But so far no one's been able to beat him. The games have even gotten so popular that people come to the bar at night just to see them. Fun. To the kitchen. Back there's the bar's kitchen. Pretty spacious, and Andre takes good care of it, so it always looks really clean and neat. Although he's also very territorial about it, semicolon. Even with me and Crow when we help him out. Especially Crow. There's probably a story behind that. Okay. I guess we're off. But I haven't even breakfast yet. I can't leave without doing that. Feed me. Ready for some breakfast, kiddo? You bet. What would you like me to make? Pancakes, waffles, French toast. I gotta go with the French toast. How about some French toast? Sure thing. Tea as usual, I assume? Of course. Any's fine. Tea? I'll be right back then. I think I'm a little weird because I can't do a hot breakfast and a hot drink. That's too much. I need to have like something cold with the hot. And vice versa. Andre grabs an apron and tightens it around his waist with a confident look as he walks into the kitchen behind him. Meanwhile, I stare at the TV hanging from the ceiling nearby as I seat myself on one of the stools by the counter. Twin Bells can expect about 5 millimeters of rain tomorrow night, but it'll quickly clear up by the early morning as folks start their day. Rainy days always make heists hard to plan for, especially with how often our friendly detective chases me on the rooftops. As the weather report wraps up, I can smell the wonderful... As the weather report wraps up, I can smell the wonderful aroma of my breakfast wafting from the kitchen, with Andre carrying it in on cue. Here you go. Andre sets down in front of me a plate of 4 neatly stacked triangles of French toast and bananas and blueberries and Those aren't strawberries, those are raspberries. Maybe a strawberry there. Topped with powdered sugar and syrup, the golden brown slices are arranged with a variety of fruit to balance out the sweetness. Bon appetit! You tried. My apologies, miss. My father's side is part French. I'm just saying. Thank you regardless. As I dive right into my breakfast, Andre goes back to cleaning the tableware and cutlery, wiping off every little blemish he can see. So, do you have another heist planned? Not yet. Nothing's caught my eye so far. Though knowing Sir Wilkson, he's probably got his eye on another rare jewel to add to his collection. I can almost see the old guy doing... It almost seems like the old guy is trying to do this because he knows you'll try to steal it. Hey, you gotta entertain yourself from retirement somehow. Fair enough. After cleaning my plate, I take one last sip of tea, getting up from my seat. Thanks again, Andre. No problem, Desiree. Good luck at work today. Thanks, you too. And away we go. After checking my belongings, I turn around and wave to Andre. Bye, Andre. Have a good day today. You too, kid. See you later. As I step out of the bar, I'm greeted by the sights and sounds of Sidewind Avenue and its morning routine. The shops opening their doors, people commuting to work, and the slow start of what is normally a bustling street. That's the bar. Isn't it quaint? It's in a pretty decent location that's not too central, but also not too far from the major points of the city. It also helps that it stands out from all the buildings nearby, since they look so similar, which makes it kind of easy to draw them, I think. Peoples. As I walk by this TV store, I overhear a couple ladies chatting to each other while watching the news. Did you go to Forget-Me-Not's heist last night? I did. It was fantastic as usual. Hey, who do you think is cooler, Detective Aiden or the Phantom Thief? Oh, that's such a hard question. If I had to choose, I pick Forget-Me-Not. He's so dreamy. Haha, take that, detective. Though maybe one day they'll get it right. Oh boy. See nothing else to click upon? Oh, a person. As I walk by the local bakery, I am greeted by the clerk sweeping near the door, waving at me with a big grin on their face. Good morning, Desiree! Morning! Getting everything ready for the day? Yep, we are just about done with the early morning prep. Oh, speaking of, boss told me to give you something when you came by. One sec. They duck into the store for a quick bit before coming back out with... a shucks pastry? Yes, thank you. You're welcome. Boss said you love these things, so he made an extra batch in case you wanted one today. You can tell him that he can expect me to drop by for a batch after my shift, and that's a promise. With a chuckle, the clerk gives me a nod, then returns to the sweeping they were doing. This way goes to the north end of the street. That's where work is. I should get going, so I have more than enough time to prep once I get there. After a bit of walking, I make it to the north end of Sidewind Avenue. In that time, the city started to wake up a bit more, as people are beginning their regular work days around me. TARDIS. I'll soon join them as I finally see my destination in front of me. TARDIS. Really? No TARDIS? Kitty! Kitty! This little cutie is Marigold, the pseudo-mascot of the flower shop. Miss Ramona found her hanging out behind the store a while back and has been taking care of her ever since. She named her Marigold because she's the same color as them. Upon seeing me get close to the store, little Marigold struts towards me and lets out a big meow for attention. Yay, kitty! Good morning to you too, little sweetheart. How are you doing today? I leave down and give my furry friend a gentle scritch behind the ears, to which she practically pushes her head into my hand for. Gosh, you're so cute. Hope you have a good day today. Kitty, kitty. Really? Nothing on the TARDIS. Bit odd for it to just be there, I think. Greeting me in this part of the street is Ramona Flowers, the flower shop I work at. Really? Flower shop AU with the thief? Okay, we're hitting a lot of good checkpoints on this. It's rustic aesthetic. That's what that word is. Its rustic aesthetic is a favorite site of many, and it's the main shop. Wow, I'm having a hard time with this sentence for some reason. And it's the main shop at a lot of locals go for their floral and decorating needs. Why am I? It's rustic. I'm struggling so much. Its rustic aesthetic is a favorite site of many, and it's the main shop at a lot of locals go to. It's the main shop a lot of locals go to for their floral and decorating needs. Why does that sentence trip me up so much? That's strange. Miss Ramona's shop also offers flower telegrams, so we get a lot of business during Valentine's and other holidays. Woof. Are we in Britain? I assume so with the telephone box. As I get close to the door, I look in my bag and realize I forgot something important. Oh, right, I need to send that jewel back to the detective. You steal it just to send it back? There's a mailbox right over there, on the left, so I should drop it there before I start work. It took me way too long to realize that that was the mailbox, considering I grew up watching Danger Mouse, and he lives in that. I walk up to the mailbox nearby, and after quickly making sure no one is watching, put on my gloves and drop a bubble mailer inside. Bubble mailer? Almost forgot to give back my prize from last night. So long, little friend. Thanks for the fun last night. I close the lid on the mailbox after confirming the deed in my heist. After confirming the deed, and hide my gloves back in my bag along with the rest of my belongings. I always make sure to send it back using different mailboxes to keep my fingerprints off of it. Standard stuff. Even Great Detective O'Malley shouldn't be able to find any clues with all this. And here we are. I double-check my belongings just in case before stepping up to the main entrance. Time to head inside. Hope Miss Ramona hasn't been too busy before I got there. Got here? Good lord, blah, 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 blah. I can read. I walk into the flower shop and am greeted by the pleasant, subtle smell of the flowers displayed around the store. Hyacinths, pansies, roses, tulips, semicolon. This shop holds as many as it can handle. I can't do this. It takes meticulous care of each and every one of them. Also greeting me as I walk in is the owner of the shop and my boss. Morning, Dee. This is my boss, Miss Ramona Benardi. She's a close friend of my mom's, and a previous client of Crow's. From what I understood, she was having issues with a corrupt landlord in the area that was taking a toll on her and the other shops. So she hired Crow to step in, and now she and the other vendors in this area don't have to worry anymore. He helped me meet her so I could apply to work here. I've been working here for a few years now. Morning, Miss Ramona. Why did I suddenly go southern? I hope I didn't keep you waiting. Hydrate. Dee, please. You know you never do. I'm still taking care of things at the front, so take your time getting ready. This one, southern. Sure thing. Display. Sitting elegantly right in the middle of the store is Miss Ramona's flower display. A handsome variety of plant life is arranged in an appealing manner. Miss Ramona loves arranging the store, especially this part. Part of the reason she opened a flower shop in the first place was because of all the flowers she could arrange. She says that's the best way to keep people interested in the store is to switch out the plants with each season. Last summer she got her hands on some really pretty bamboo and went all out with displaying it. I'm sorry, I can't find bamboo anything but dangerous and threatening after that Mythbusters episode. Shame I couldn't get my hands on it before it flew off the shelves. It was so pretty. Angry stuff. Let's see. Window. Morning light shines brightly through the window, and through it I can see the building next door. The shop's not in the best location, but Miss Ramona's hoping to move it somewhere more open. She has her eye on a larger building a bit north of here, and it's got a nice big window the plants can bask next to. With the business we've been getting, it shouldn't be long before she can snag it for herself. Miss Ramona? I walk up to Miss Ramona, who's scrolling through her phone behind the counter. What are you doing? Looking up what flowers I need to get for the shop. Mother's Day is coming up, so we're going to need a fair amount of carnations. Ah, right. Those sell out so fast this time of year. They sure do, don't they? Although the forget-me-nots of a certain thief's fans buy have continued to be our biggest hit. Let's go in the back. Am I ready to start work? Yes. I guess it's time to get started. A bit later. Oh, back. And now on to our next story. Late last night, the infamous thief, Forget-Me-Not, fiendishly stole yet another priceless exhibit from the Twin Bells Museum. As the newscaster recounts my escapade from the other night, a huge smirk appears on my face while I work on the next banquet order. Bouquet order, probably. The infamous thief fiendishly stole yet another priceless exhibit. They always give me such high praise. Be careful not to let your own ego grow too much, otherwise your pretty little head might turn into a blimp. I turn to see Miss Ramona carrying 2 cups of tea from the back office. She sets down one next to me and takes a sip of her own as she sits across the table. Ha ha, very funny. How in the world did you turn into such an attention seeker? Is it wrong to be proud of your accomplishments? Miss Ramona gives a little chuckle before taking a sip from her tea. Yep, you definitely take after your father more. What's that supposed to mean? Take it as you will. I set aside my current project and take a sip of tea, turning my attention back to the news report about my heist. It has been over 3 years since that thief first appeared in our city, and they have been putting on these shows of theirs many nights ever since. It has been over 3 years since that thief first appeared in our city, and they have been putting on these shows of theirs. As many nights ever since. I think there should be a comma somewhere in there. We're passing it off to a reporter in the field who's interviewing the officers and persons involved in this incident. Thank you. I have Sir Wilkson, the museum curator and owner, here with me in the museum lobby. If it's not too much trouble, sir, could you answer a few questions about last night?
Of course, no trouble at all.
Thank you, sir. Now, this thief has been going after your family's exhibits for years now. Yet you seem quite chipper about it. Could you explain why?
Well, the real reason is quite simple. It's purely fun. I can tell from their heist that the rascally thief is doing this to entertain, and I must say that myself and many others certainly are entertained. It reminds me of years past with the Scarlet Rose. To live through that again has been one of the biggest joys of my old age. Besides, we Wilkinsons are not ones to get discouraged and give up so easily. Why, my son actually has an exhibit planned very soon that he's simply elated to announce.
This is the first we've heard of this. Any hints as to what the new exhibit is about?
My apologies, but that's about all I'm allowed to say, otherwise poor Max will be quite upset at me for stealing his spotlight.
Of course. Thank you for your time, Sir Wilkson. Wilkinson.
It was my pleasure. I have a wonderful moustache.
As the interview wraps up, I stare at the screen, deep in thought. A new exhibit, huh? Already getting ideas? Maybe. Besides, it's more fun to mess with Max since he gets so worked up about it. Unlike his dad, who always looks like he's having a ball at the heist. Just make sure not to overwork yourself, alright? Of course. As I take another sip, I'm reminded of what Crow told me about last night. Oh, I almost forgot. Miss Ramona, I'm gonna need Friday off this week. How come? Crow landed tickets for the ballet that's coming to the city this Friday. Said he wanted to give me a chance to relax after all these heists. Oh, is that all? Of course you can have Friday off for that. Just make sure to finish all the boutiques and telegram orders we've gotten this week. The ballet actually brought in more than we usually get around this time. Do you think you can manage? Of course I can. I'll make sure these boutique... I keep saying boutique. And now I can't think of how to say the bloody word! Banquet, boutique... I'm looking right at it. Bouquet! Bouquet! It's a bouquet! Spelled like bucket. I remember now. The Bouquet family residence. No, it's not bucket. The bouquets are perfect. Excellent. But it's impressive Crow managed to snag a couple of tickets, even with his connections. Is it really that popular? Apparently so. Every city that ballet has toured through has had its tickets sell out almost instantly. One of their selling points is that the dancer playing one of the lead roles are a couple themselves, so their scenes are extra romantic. Uh-oh. Huh. I didn't know that. Must be quite the show to garner so much attention. I'm even more excited to go see it now. Amid my excited bubbliness... bubbliness. Ramona playfully pokes me the face as she gets up from her seat. You think you can think about the ballet after you're done arranging those... I just said the word and it's gone again. Bouquets. These bouquets. Yes, boss. Ramona takes the empty cup and walks back to the office, leaving me alone in the back room. I put my own cup aside as I get back to work with the TV still playing. While the police have expressed their disdain for the thief, many citizens have told our reporters that they continue to anticipate the thief's next heist. With how the public loves forget-me-not, one could say that we're living through another era like Scarlet Roses. Hearing those words, I stare at one of the roses in the room fondly. Like the scarlet rose, huh? I'm still nowhere near their level, but it feels nice to hear people say I'm like them. Papa loves the scarlet rose. I wonder what he would say. After an admittedly long day, I return to the dimly lit bar, my bag on one shoulder and a box of charouques. It's got to be French. True charu pastries from next door under my other arm. Greeting me is Andre, walking back from the counter after cleaning the main area a bit. Welcome back, Desiree. Thanks. Is Crow around? I want to share some of these pastries from the next door. I bought some pastries from next door and wanted to share. He left a couple hours ago. Said it was for a new job. Another one already? Did he say where or who? Nope. He's keeping it on the down low this time until he's done. Why am I making him Southern? That's fair. Would you like first dibs on one of these then? Don't mind if I do. Thanks. I open the box in my arms, and he gently pulls a pastry out, then grabs himself a small plate to not make a mess. I make myself a seat on one of the stools, odd way, putting the box next to me, and the two of us start chatting away. Got some downtime right now? Yep, usuals won't start showing up for a little bit. I want to make every other person Southern now. How was work, by the way? Pretty busy. Pretty busy, entirely due to the ballet. Be real with me. How many rose bouquets have you made so far? Too many. I hope to never see a rose again for a long time after the ballet leaves. Andre lets out a chuckle and leans against the counter to ruffle my hair. You think this is bad? Imagine how many rose bouquets you'd be making if the scarlet rose was still around. I didn't even manage to take another bite of my pastry before I give him a look. Oh my god. Andre, why? Looking pleased with himself, he lets out another chuckle as he takes a big bite of his pastry. By the way, Crow said he's buying dinner on the way back, so we don't need to cook anything. Oh, okay. Any word on what specifically? Nope. Although knowing him, he'll want something hot. That man sure loves spice, huh? Andre is finishing up with his pastry as he looks at the clock hanging on the wall. Do you mind helping me in the kitchen for a bit tonight? Some of my more rowdy regulars are going to show up soon. I just want to make sure my part-timers don't get overwhelmed, you know? Sure thing. Just let me get my jacket off quickly. Take your time. Won't get messy until they've had a few drinks. As the last patrons leave the bar, Andre locks the front door and flips the sign from open to closed. Meanwhile, I'm cleaning the last few tables for the night, pausing to let out a little yawn. I can take care of the rest. You go upstairs if you're feeling tired. Are you sure? Ooh, new outfit. No worries, there's not much left. Plus, I need to count the cash and whatnot. Alright, I'll go upstairs and wait for Crow to get back. How long? You're a bar. You're open until like 3 a.m., aren't you? How late have you been waiting for dinner? Andre takes the bottle and cloth from me as I make my way towards the stairs, stretching a little from the work we just did. I swing open the door to the attic and grab my TV remote nearby. Remote nearby, turning on the news as I flop onto the bed. And we just learned that the Sunrise Glow, the jewel Forget-Me-Not stole last night, has been returned safely to the police department. Officials are still trying to find any info on the thief and their accomplices for the swift arrest. I think if I kept seeing a jewel get stolen and jewels get stolen and returned over and over again, I'd start thinking that the person was in on it for a publicity stunt. Like, that's where my mind would go. Either that or insurance fraud. I guess that's why you'd return it to the police and not directly to the person, so that they didn't collect insurance. I've got to figure out how to turn that off. I roll over on bed with a yawn and pull out my phone, lazily scrolling through my calendar and social media feeds. Doom scrolling time. Forget-me-nots trending again, though the ballet is a really close second. Hydrate. Friday night I'll get to see what everyone's so excited about. The hype has to be for a reason, right? While I'm staring at my phone, I suddenly hear a sound of someone climbing the stairs. I turn around and see Crow walking into the attic. Ooh, he looked good. I'm back! Welcome back. He pulls out a plastic bag he was carrying. He puts a plastic bag he was carrying onto the desk, then takes a page from my book as he flops onto his bed. A long day? Yep. You too? Yep. Look around with mouse. Bag! As I lay in the bed, still scrolling on my phone, the delicious smell of what appear to be chicken and spice fill the air in the attic. That smells good. What'd you get? Please be curry. Please be butter chicken. Please be butter chicken. Was in the mood for curry. Yes! So I got a big portion so all three of us can eat as much as we want. I eye him suspiciously upon hearing that, which prompts an exaggerated sigh. Don't worry, I bought mild. Don't want you two to yell at me again because you're weak. Crow, you only start to consider something as hot when it's at a 4 out of 5 on the scale. Spice is good for you. The more you sweat more and drink more water. Within reason. Ooh, I want curry now. I heard from Andre that you got a new job. Technically, yeah. My new client has actually contacted me a while ago, but it was only tonight that I got all the fine print for what they want me to do. I can't tell you about it, though. This one's super hush-hush. I know. Andre told me about that. Good, good. If I told you about it being hush-hush, does that constitute telling you about it? I'll tell you about it once I'm done, though, alright? I know you're always so curious about the jobs once I get... Why can I not turn that off? Hey, it's not every day you get to see a thief of justice in action. And flattery will get you nowhere, kiddo. Okay. TV? I stare at the TV on the other side of the room, but grow disinterested and roll onto my side. Mind if I change the channel? Go ahead, I'm not even watching anymore. TV's not even on. I then hear Crow's creaky bed as he gets up to grab the remote, changing it from the news to a game show channel. I roll over to see what's on right now. How does that guy already have so much banked? Probably let Hubris take control and try to roll as many double-ups as he could. I bet you it's gonna bite him in the ass on the next roll, though. Just as Crow said, the guy takes another chance to make the score even higher, only to land a big, fat bankruptcy space. Crow lets out a chuckle to see him clutching his head in disbelief. What was he expecting? Who knows? But at least that was entertaining to watch. I shake my head and roll onto my back, losing interest in the show as the commercial break starts up. Crow rolls around in his bed a little before hopping back onto his feet. I'm going to take a shower and tell Andre we can start eating. I'll just be up here until you're ready, then. Got it. He takes off his jacket and chucks it onto his bed before walking around the corner into the hall. Meanwhile, I roll onto my back, feeling a little drowsy. A little nap before dinner won't hurt. With a yawn, my eyes start to grow heavier, but as I slowly but surely fall into an inevitable nap. Dream? Forget me not. Amid my sleeping, I find myself reliving an old memory of mine, a memory that decided the past few years of my life. I can see Crow and myself sitting up in a dark attic, illuminated by the moon and streetlights outside, as I unveil my grand idea. Yeah, what do you think? I think it's a mouthful is what it is. Oh, come on, be serious. Spent a lot of time thinking up this name. Right, because it's your thief name. A worried expression paints Crow's face as he folds his arm and leans back in his chair. What's up? It's just... you know... I promised your dad I looked after you until he and your mom are back in form. I'm still coming to terms with whether I should let you do this. What would they say if they knew of this idea of yours? I know, but... I set aside my notepad, cradling my knees as I look back at Crow. There's something about the incident the other night that just... I don't know, made me want to feel that thrill again. I've been cooped up in this attic for a while now, and that really helped me stretch my legs a bit more. Yeah, I get you. But, you know, becoming a phantom thief means you'll have a lot of close calls like that one. One wrong move and you'll be put behind bars, and I really don't want to see that happen. Do you think you can deal with that kind of stress? I pause, taking time to think as hard as I can before I look at Crow with determination. Yes, I can. It'll be a bit scary, but I know my limits, and I want to give this a try. Besides, Scarlet Mose managed to retire from being a thief. I can do that too later when the thrill dies down. Crow blinks at me blinks at me for a moment before letting out a small chuckle. That's a weird kind of retirement to aim for, but I can't say you're wrong. Crow pauses to think it over, then sits upright in his chair. How about this? I at least want you to agree that the minute it gets out of hand, you'll quit. Got it? Got it. I'm holding you to that, kid. Crow uncrosses his arms and leans forward, his hands resting his chin as a scheming look appears on his face. So, Miss Up-and-Coming Thief, you got a first target in mind? You bet I do. Check out this article. As Crow and I start to form a plan for my first heist, I can feel this nostalgic dream fading away from me. I feel something nudging my shoulder, causing me to slowly wake up from my impromptu nap. I let out a small yawn and see Crow standing next to me. Have a good nap, kid? Sorry, I guess I was more tired than I thought. He lets out a small chuckle before ruffling my hair. Don't worry about it. You've had a busy week so far. Now come on, dinner's ready. I get up from the bed and do a little stretch before following Crow downstairs. I am hungry now. I had a feeling he was going to get angry, but after seeing that clean sweep... Oh. I had a feeling he was going to get angry, but seeing that clean sweep had his jaw on the floor. I love when that happens. In the moody, empty bar, I listen to Crow and Andre exchange stories from last night. Visitors during the day, something they remembered, They always go on like this together in the evenings. While I quietly enjoy my dinner, Andre sets his plate down momentarily. I heard some interesting gossip tonight that might interest you two as well. I didn't even manage to get my spoon out of my mouth before my interest is piqued. What kind of gossip this time? You know how Maximilian has an exhibit of some sort planned? That I do. He wouldn't even let his dad say anything about it. Well, I had a theater employee pop in for a meal today, and they spilled the tidbit that it has something to do with the ballet. I can tell Crow's interest has been piqued, as right on cue he leans forward and folds his hands under his chin. Really? I was wondering why the advertising for that was everywhere, but now it makes sense. You think he invited the ballet to our city to take part in an exhibit? That I do. Not to knock Twin Bells, but we're not as well known as the bigger cities. It just makes sense that being in provided to take part in a rich, young museum co-workers exhibit would entice them to visit. As Crow takes another swig of his alcohol, I turn to Andre. Did that employee happen to say anything about the exhibit himself? Itself? Unfortunately not. They said it's strictly confidential until he announces it himself. That makes sense. Knowing him, though, he's gonna try to go for the dramatic approach. And the ballet is a perfect chance to announce an exhibit in such a way. It's probably going to be on opening night, too. There's going to be a lot of press on Friday. Now I'm even happier you got those tickets. Imagine what Maxie would think if he learned he'd announced his exhibit to Forget-Me-Not. Didn't I get you those tickets so you could relax, miss, before dinner nap? I sheepishly shove another spoonful of curry in my mouth in response. Meanwhile, Andre, having already finished eating, gets up and takes his plate. Anyone want seconds, or are we leaving the rest for leftovers?
I'll take some more.
Continuing from where they left off, Andre and Crow talk each other's ear off before to pass the time for the rest of the night. We say our goodnights to Andre as he heads back home, locking up the bar and getting ready to pack it in for the evening. I'm going to stay up a little longer, but you're free to head to bed if you want. As if on cue, a yawn escapes me, with a giggle soon after. I guess I'm kind of tired. I'll go tuck myself in then. Alright then. Good night, kid. Good night. I make my way up to the attic, change into my PJs, and tuck myself into bed, quickly falling asleep.
Twin Bells Theater for Performing Arts, May 10th.
The night of the ballet is finally here, and as I enter the theater lobby, I find myself in awe at the turnout. Wow, look at this crowd. I don't think I've ever seen a theater hall like this before.
What do you expect from a company that made a name for themselves all across Western Europe?
I'm glad I managed to snag those tickets with my friend's help.
Oh, now we're really going to see if the ballet really is as good as people are making it out to be.
While Crow, in disguise, eyes the other guests and our surroundings, I shoot a judging gaze at his outfit. Your outfit still looks ridiculous. Your look is a wannabe aesthetic blogger.
Haha, very funny.
Listen, I told you before, the only way I could come with you is if I wore this. So it's either you watch the ballet alone, or you deal with my getup for the next few hours. You never said anything about not making fun of you for it, though.
Touché, you little brat.
Well, we still have some time before it starts, so let me know when you're ready to find our seats. Sure thing. Let's look at things. Peoples. I look around the lobby again at all the different people that are here in the performance. The well-dressed ones here to make a statement. The well-dressed ones here to make a statement. The more casually dressed folks were just here to enjoy the show. I even spot some reporters sprinkled around to tell the city about what tonight has to offer. Of course, littered around theaters en masse. Security. I've always wanted to do at least one heist here in the theater, but the amount of security they have is nuts. Earl told me that he's only had a small handful of jobs related to the theater, and they were all a hassle. One day I'll live my dream of making a graceful entrance onto the stage itself. One day. Booth? Even right before the show, people are lined up to try to see if there are any tickets left. Hoping for cancellations or maybe seat upgrades. These people potentially wait in line to try their luck for the night. Patiently wait in line to try their luck for the night. Meanwhile, I notice the prices and squint at them. Are ballet tickets normally so pricey? Probably. Yep, and there's a special reason they sold out so fast as well, see? Crow points me towards one of the larger signs near the ticket booth that reads, Pavlovia Ballet Company celebrates 40 years. Thank you to all who have been part of our performances in the years past. 40 years, huh? That's quite a while. Yep. Apparently, they had originally started in Russia, but moved out to accommodate their skilled dancers all over here in Western Europe. I'd say it worked out pretty well for them. That's pretty neat. Would you ever want to travel outside the country? Maybe see some sights? Not a bad plan. Although, are you saying that honestly, or just as a way to make you more popular? Uh-huh, very funny. Posters. Scattered around the lobby are posters, each with the same image printed advertising tonight's show. The Pavlovia Ballet Company presents Swan Lake. It's simple enough to match the tone of the production, but still eye-catching enough to make you want to stop and stare. Crow walks over to eye it, then looks over at me. Do you know much about the ballet? All I really know is the basic story, but I've never seen the ballet itself. The lineup is pretty impressive, though. It's probably hard to get that many people to our city. Wait, what? Crow pulls down the pamphlet about the ballet he brought with him and flips over to the cast section, his face growing a bit paler after reading it. Did you think there was going to be less? Maybe. It's a big ballet, though. How did you not realize that? He shoves the pamphlet into my hand and pinches the bridge of his nose in frustration. This job's gonna be harder than I thought. Good luck? I think that's everything. I actually don't think I know anything about Swan Lake apart from the soundtrack, which is one of the most publicly domain-used things in the world. Yeah, no, I don't think I know Swan Lake at all. I'm now realizing. What's up, kid? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to head on in. Alright, let's find our seats then. Tickets in hand, Crow and I make our way to the doors that lead to the heart of the theater. Ooh. Entering the large, imposing main hall, I feel the mood subtly shift to match the environment. People that were chatting loudly to each other outside are now whispering in hushed tones to respect their surroundings, but still eager for the performance to start. We manage to find our seats amid the mood lighting and get comfortable. Even with how you got these tickets, these spots aren't that bad. I was worried we'd be super uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting to be given crappy seats despite it all. You good from where you are, though? We can swap seats if it's better for you. I'm good, thanks. How much longer do we have to wait till the show starts? The list of show times outside says we got another 5 minutes. As if on cue, he stretches his arms for a bit, then slumps down in his seat as far as he can without falling out. I'm just gonna sit back and get as comfy as I can. Please don't tell me you're gonna sleep through the ballet. Oh, come on. Who do you take me for? I just know this is gonna be a long boy. So I may as well make sure my ass doesn't fall. A long boy? I don't think I know what that phrase means. Long boy. Thank you, Desiree. You heard me. Amid our chatting, I notice more and more people walking to their seats. Not long after the last few people sat down, the lights begin to dim until only the stage could be seen in the darkness. The ballet was finally starting. Swan Lake, the timeless story about hope, devotion, despair, and the road in between. Prince Siegfried. Bound by responsibility, the story begins because of his unwillingness to let his future be decided for him. And Odette, the isolated queen of the swans who is unsure of him at first, but soon falls to the impulsive prince. Facing love, betrayal, and heartache, these two unintentionally change each other's lives forever as they strive for what they believe in. Although, even without any knowledge of the source material, I feel anyone would be in awe as they watch the ballet unfold. With the graceful dancing and the music at the heights that heightens the mood, I begin to understand the hype. I've got to fix that. Hype this show has had in the past week. Especially with how skilled the lead dancers are. But as it goes on, I find my attention taken away from them to someone else. In the middle of the scene on the lake, my eyes are drawn towards one swan in particular. Blonde hair, and looks to be the tallest dancer on stage, lowering herself to not draw attention. I'm not sure why, but I can't help but keep my gaze on her instead of Siegfried and Odette, who are supposed to be the stars of this scene. She dances just as well as all the other girls, is dressed the same. There's nothing about her that inherently stands out. But no matter how hard I try, my eyes continue to gravitate towards her, sparkling more and more. I can't explain it, and I don't know why. But something is drawing me towards her. All the dancers to be captivated by, I wasn't expecting one of the regular swans, not the Cygnets, or even Odette herself, to be the one. In the corner of my vision, I see Crow giving me a confused look, and I turn away reflexively, trying to save face as I enjoy the rest of the show. As the scene on the lake comes to an end, I feel a sense of longing watching that one dancer leave the stage. But the ballet continues, and the rest of it is just as lovely as the beginning, if not more. The final scene comes to a close, and the theater breaks out into a thundering applause, breaking the silence the audience held during the performance. I'll admit, when I heard that the two leads were in love with each other, I was expecting a bit more drama, but this is interesting. I'm very interested. I do love me a good background romance. That was really good. I loved how eccentric the scene at the party was. What about you? Yeah, right. Crow gazes back at the stage, staring at the dancers as they bow for the curtain call. What's up? The prima ballerina. Why did she change back into her Olid costume? Odile costume? Didn't she just do the final scene as Odette? I look at the ballerina in question, and sure enough, she's changed out of her white Odette costume to the black Odile one. Huh. That's strange. I wonder if it has anything to do with... Before I'm able to finish my thought, a loud, boisterous voice I'm familiar with echoes through the main hall.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen!
Oh, boy. Now that's a long boy. Appearing center stage like he's the star of the show is none other than Max himself. I am Maximilian Andrew Wilkinson, the co-owner of the Wilkinson Museum of Art and History. Some of you may be aware that I have a very special exhibit planned for our esteemed museum. Well, I am here today to finally announce it, :
The show and I at the Pavel Ballet Company have been working so diligently to share with you all. Miss Volkov, if you would please.
On cue, the prima that Crow and I were staring at moments before stands next to Mark with proud poise.
The exhibit will feature the history of the Pavlov Company, as well as famous ballets and pieces inspired by them in general. But the main attraction, the centerpiece to the entire show, is the pride of Belov Ballet Company, the Black Swan.
He motions towards the jewel hanging proudly around the prima's neck as the audience murmurs in oohs and ahs.
This exhibit will be the first time in the company's history that the Black Swan will ever be made available for the public to see up close. You will note that it's not actually black at all, but red and silvery white. I feel it was probably misnamed. It is an honor for our humble museum to have the pleasure of displaying this beautiful ruby, the history it carries.
Why is it called the Black Swan?
The exhibit will formally open next week, but will have a special inaugural show on the evening of the 14th. I wish for you all to visit once it is open to the public.
As if on cue, a small flock of reporters appear from the crowd, with security quickly catching up to them so that they stay far enough away from the stage.
Mr. Wilkins, what of the thief Forget-Me-Not? That jewel perfectly fits their M.O.
Motioning security to pause for one moment, Max clears his throat and responds.
Of course I am aware of that damn thief. They've plagued our museum for over 3 years. And you know what I say to that coward? Try and steal it if you dare. This time I'll be the one to put you behind bars for good. Just you watch.
The reporters are thrown into a frantic frenzy with that line, as security struggles to push them out of the lobby as to not disturb the audience. Ooh. Well, the plopped chickens. After things have finally calmed down, Crow and I make our way back to the lobby, ready to go home after the night we've had. Man, the press doesn't know when to give up, huh? I almost feel bad for the security having to wrangle them like sheep. Especially when some of them tried to break out of it and interview the ballerinas. Well, despite all that hassle, it was a pretty good show, huh? It was. Thank you again for inviting me out here.
No problem, kid. Let's head back home now.
Oh, actually, can I make a quick stop before we leave? I turn my attention to the western hallway where the bathroom sign points.
Sure, take your time. I'll go grab myself something to drink then. I'm feeling a little parched.
Alright, we'll meet up near the concession stands. On cue, the two of us go our separate ways, as I make my way towards the western hallway. I walk up and down the western hall, looking feverishly for where these bathrooms are supposed to be. Ugh, I can't believe the main bathroom had such a huge lineup. It's right after a show, girl. Where the heck are these bathrooms that person talked about? I'm practically in the changing rooms at this rate. Amid my annoyed marching, I happen to hear a familiar voice arguing in the room next to me.
Don't worry, my plan is foolproof.
I already forgot the voice. I still refuse. What's going on in here? I sneak up to where the voices are coming from, peeking through the room with the crack in the door. There, I see Max and two older gentlemen. One I recognize as the man who played the role of Rothbart on stage just a moment ago. And surprisingly, the chief of police himself, Inspector Harrison.
Try to reconsider. Absolutely not. I refuse to let my niece and her other dancers be put in peril just for this young man's desire for justice. Mr. Durov, how do you pronounce that? I'm too high class to really care. I can assure you the dancers, your niece included, will have no harm done to them. I love the guy in the middle. I love this so much. Just no eyes, no expression, just a magnificent mustache. I love it. Because I am not letting you go through with this ridiculous idea. Abraham, please be reasonable.
Amid their arguing, Chief Inspector Harrison, the imposing, mustachioed man who had been standing idly by this whole time, speaks up.
I think Mr. Wilkins' idea is genius. With the help of the dancers, there's no way that thief will ever lay a finger on them or the jewel. I swear my badge on it.
I lean against the wall, deep in thought at what I just heard. Seems like Maxi Boy's got some sort of plan to counter me, knowing I'll probably go after that jewel. Sounds like fun. I can't wait to... As I begin walking away from the door, not walking where I was going, I accidentally bump into someone in the hall. Oh, sorry, I didn't see... The person I bumped into turns around, and I feel my heart skip a beat as I realize who it was. Dimly lit. I don't know whether it was super lucky or super unlucky, but out of everyone it ended up being that one dancer I couldn't keep my eyes off from just a moment ago. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I feel my face turn red as I try desperately to keep my composure. No, it was my fault. I wasn't watching where I was going, and, God, I'm so stupid. Learn to speak. She doesn't say a word, and just stares at me for a moment before tilting her head in confusion. Sorry to ask, but do you work here? I thought only staff members could come back this far. I look around at where we're standing, and sure enough I spot a sign that says Staff and Performers Only further down. Dang it. I scratch the back of my neck sheepishly as I turn back towards her. I know this is going to sound really unbelievable, but I got lost looking for the bathroom. The main one had a huge line, and one of the staff members told me there was another one down here, so... She lets out a small giggle in response. Isn't that the other bathroom right behind you? I turn around and look where she's pointing, and right there I see a gender-neutral bathroom sign tucked into the corner. I am so upset right now. I walked up and down these halls like 3 times. This building is quite confusing, isn't it? I got lost a couple times myself. Her cute giggle makes me feel a little sheepish, and I play with my ponytail before turning back to her. Thanks for the help. And sorry for, bumping into you and all. No worries. Our chatting is interrupted by the yelling in the room I just eavesdropped moments ago, getting louder and louder.
Absolutely not!
That sounds like... I think I need to go see what's going on in there. Take care. You too. And just like that, she walks off and knocks on the door, being let in by one of the men inside. I thought she got slapped. Holy shit, I thought she got slapped. I begin to make my way towards the bathroom before stopping, my palm slapping my face faster than I imagined. I didn't ask her name. I'm so dumb. Ah! Dejected, I make my way to the bathroom, which turned out to be a mini walk of shame. A little while later, I make it back to the lobby, spotting Crow giving me a look where he's seated. Where the hell were you? I got lost looking for the bathroom.
You? Getting lost? Who are you and what have you done with the real Desiree?
Listen, I'm not in the theater as much as the museum, all right? A deep sigh escapes Crow, adjusting his shades as he gets up from his seat.
Oh, come on. Let's go home then.
Okay. Oh, wait, there's something I need to tell you.
Let's walk and talk then.
Okay, so while I was looking for the bathroom, I met this girl. I think there's going to be an entire plot line revolving around the two of us. The two of us finally exit the theater and make our way back to the little attic we call home. Ready and willing to start brainstorming ideas for Forget-Me-Not's next heist. On the night of the exhibit's launch, I shall steal the Black Swan. Forget-Me-Not. Wilkins Museum of Art and History, May 14th, 10:25. We are going on for a while. Good grief, how long are we going for? An hour and a half. They said that the demo was like an hour long. I guess that wasn't including, this. We're getting quite a ways, though. Whew, hachi-machi. It's been going on for quite a while, and my voice is kind of giving out a little bit. I keep tripping over my lines. I don't know if I want to stop now or keep going to the end of the demo.
Hey, listen!
Hi, Bye Beast. Yes, I have been hydrating. I've been having to hydrate a lot. But did so again, just to be sure. Oh, how much longer? Like, there's the big heist. I don't know how much longer. It's supposed to be the entirety of part 1 of 5 or 6. I think there's like an epilogue chapter that came out. Why does that keep popping up? Why does it keep popping up from different directions? That's strange. I could have sworn it came from the top before. It's doing that just to annoy me, isn't it? Anyway. Good grief. I don't know if I want to keep... We'll keep going a little bit longer. Rika hasn't even started yet, so we could keep going. Thanks for checking out the Deborah and paying me. You'll have one less point to click, and then the demo will end. Okay, thank you so much. And thank you so much for the game. This is very good so far. We'll keep going to the end of the demo then. One last point and click, and then the demo. Okay. The night of Max's exhibit has finally arrived. As usual, due to the calling card I sent Wilkinsons, a large crowd Now I'm really losing it. A large crowd grows at the foot of the museum, anxious for tonight. Soon enough, the usual formation is here. Fans in the crowd holding banners, flags, and whatnot. TV crews ready to try to deliver tonight's show to everyone watching from home. Everything down there is set for the night's festivities. Meanwhile, Crow and I go through our usual pre-heist song and dance. Swapping in with security, creating a handful of escape routes, yada yada. Looking out towards the eccentric and excited crowd of people down below, I pull out my walkie-talkie and call up Crow, who's sitting comfortably in the security room. Everything's good to go up here. How are things on your end? Same down here, kid. Just setting up the blind spot cameras before switching over to our main attraction. Excellent. I'm a little concerned, though. We still haven't seen what Max was planning for tonight yet. No worry, kids. I'll holler into the walkie the minute I see anything weird. He suddenly pauses with a frantic tapping on the security room's control panel following. What the Kid, look down below! Confused, I look below into the main hall as Crow told me to. As my eyes grow wide upon seeing what is going on down there. What? Looking down into the room below me, I am greeted by the most unusual sight I've ever seen. Inside the hall, scattered about, are several groups where dancers from the ballet all dressed elegantly. Ooh, I like her a lot. I like her. I love the haircut, and I love that little, but ooh, that's very good. But more bizarre than the sudden traffic of people is what normally should have been an empty hall at this time of night. Was the curious accessory practically every dancer seemed to have hanging around their necks. I like her, too. I like the headband. Another cutie there, too. Ooh, that's very butch. I like all these designs. Black swans that aren't black? Why do they all have black swans? I can hear Crow clicking his tongue angrily on the other end. Max must have prepared a bunch of fakes to throw us off, the bastard. So this is what he was talking about when I eavesdropped on him. Not bad. Not bad at all. This is not the time to be impressed. Crow's angry voice shouts out from my walkie. A ringing left in my ear as a result. Sorry. What are we gonna do about this, though? I'm not sure. We could just survey the situation until we get a good grasp on what's going on. Ending our conversation, I bring my attention back to the room down below, scanning the premises from top to bottom until I spot Max himself, along with his father, Sir Wilkinson, Chief Inspector Harrison.
I did not give clearance for this!
And a very angry Detective O'Malley.
Any decision about what course of action to take against Forget-Me-Not are to go through me at all times. Being lead investigator on this case isn't just a title.
Ah, Detective Aidan O'Malley, my favorite member of the force. Just as they said, they're the lead detective on this case. Are they them? They non-binary? Cool. And have been since the day I started my thievery over 3 years ago. If there's anyone who knows how I work best, it's them. They're my perfect rival. Detective. See, this is exactly why we kept this plan from you. It would never have come to fruition if you had been involved.
Because this idea is idiotic! What do you think you're doing, putting all these dancers at risk?
Oh, come now. It's been over 3 years and that thief hasn't hurt anyone. It'll be fine.
You can't assume that. Try to use that damn head of yours from time to time.
Sometimes I wonder if what the precinct would be like if everyone was as level-headed as our friendly detective. Hey, the detective told the money brat to go fuck himself, so I'm pretty good with that. Although I'm still a cop. As the arguing below continues, I pull out my walkie and contact Crow on the other end. Do you want me to provoke him with a calling card? He might spill something if I do. That might work. Alright. Go chuck one at him and see what happens. Just be sure not to hit him this time, alright? No promises. Getting the okay from Crow, I pulled out a blank index card from my inner coat pocket and started writing a message to our opponent down below. Finishing it off with my iconic signature, I delicately open the window and fling it inside. Detective Oh.
Well, I couldn't even get my line out!
Swiftly landing right by his feet, the impromptu calling card manages to spook him enough to make him jump out of the way.
What the hell? That thing could have hit me! An index card? You can kill people with those things!
And it's a damn shame it didn't. Ignoring the detective's snide remark, Max leans over to see what appeared to out of nowhere and almost hit him.
Ah, it's from the thief.
Everyone in the hall turns to Max upon hearing those words as he picks up the card from the floor.
Let me see. To the bratty co-owner whose voice is more prominent than he is. Hey!
Had to throw one in there.
Had to throw one in there, didn't you?
Couldn't resist. Max clears his throat and continues reading, ignoring my introductory statement.
I was aware you had something planned for tonight, but you truly shocked me by inviting the entire ballet to take part in tonight's affair. I assume having them all adorned with a black swan of some sort of meaning, considering your love of games.
I'm falling apart. I assume having them all adorned with a black swan has some sort of meaning, considering your love of game has some sort of meaning. Well, it's a decoy. So it's only fair that the one who orchestrates this should explain it. I'd appreciate that if you could do just that. Signed, Forget-Me-Not. Upon reading my calling card in full, he waves it around with a smug look on his face.
Did you hear that? The thief has finally managed to be outdone.
I don't think that's what that meant.
What an honor it is to be the reason for such a feat.
Instead of boasting, how about you finally explain what's going on tonight? I'm also tired of being kept in the dark.
Oh, fine. It's only fair.
After handing my card over to the detective, Max loudly clears his throat, projecting his voice across the room for everyone to hear.
Our dear Forget-Me-Not, wherever you are at the moment, I have a little game prepared for you, just as you said. It is as follows. You may have already guessed, practically every dancer in this hall has been given a black swan to wear. Naturally, only one of these is the real one, because that's how reality works. If you manage to figure out which lovely dancer has the real jewel, then I concede defeat for tonight. But rest assured, I've made sure that you never will.
How would you put it?
Find the Odette amongst the Odilles.
I need to figure out how to say that word. He finishes his declaration with a loud, boastful laugh that echoes through the main hall. It's probably the one in the jewel case, right? So that's the game you want to play, huh? Well, fine then. I do love a good mystery. That's why we're all here. I pull out another index card and quickly scribble my response to his challenge, chucking it down like I did before. Why does nobody ever look up if Forget-Me-Not is always coming in through the ceiling? It lands close to Max again, though not spooking him this time, who picks it up and reads it quickly to himself.
Let I see. Hey, wait a moment.
Clearly too annoyed to care at this point, Detective O'Malley swipes the card out of Max's hands and reads it aloud for everyone to hear. Ahem. Very well, I accept your challenge. Although you are incorrect in the language you chose for tonight's affair. Considering the aforementioned jewel that is my target for tonight, it's only fair to say that I will be searching for the Odelle among the Odettes. Signed, Forget-Me-Not, and blah 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 blah. Detective O'Malley delicately tucks the card into their front pocket, then turns to address the officers scattered around the hall. Listen up! You all heard the thief's declaration, and we're going to make sure it doesn't come to fruition. I want an officer next to each group of dancers immediately. Understood?
Sir, yes, sir!
Having received their orders, the officers begin to disperse themselves around the room, making sure to be a good distance from each group of dancers.
You didn't have to push me.
And you!
Eep.
You and your father are going to be under direct supervision of myself and Inspector Harrison. Any objections, Maximilian? Oh, these two have a thing. These two have a thing. These two have a thing.
No, sir, not at all, sir. Oh!
Woo! I got some shipping going on here. I got some shipping going on because yes, the cop and the rich boy, two bads might make a right. They could turn it around. I'm sure he's turning around, but you know what I mean. Good. That's our detective. The walkie at my hip beeps. Crow's exasperated voice at the other end. What have you gotten us into this time, kid? Hey, not my fault Maxie wants to play a game tonight. I'm just giving him what he wants. We'll still come out on top. Even without being next to him, I could still tell Crow was just shaking his head at me. I swear, you become more eccentric with each heist we do. But fine, let's play this game of his. I knew you'd come around. Let's work together so we can wipe that smug look off his face. I look back down towards the hall, ready to start playing Max's little game of the night. I heard the walkie at my hip beep and answer it while scanning the area. One quick thing before you start, kiddo. See all the security guards that are standing next to the groups of dancers? Sure do. A little birdie let me in on what frequency they're using for their mics and earpieces, so we can use that to eavesdrop on our guests down below. I also got my hands on a list of any notable people and all the dancers that were given jewels. So not all of the dancers were given jewels? Correct. Guess Max didn't want to spend too much on this little game of his. Makes it a bit easier for me, though. Thanks, Crow. No problem, kiddo. I have some info on the jewel that might help you along, so call me when you want to hear it. And if you're ever feeling stuck, I'll give you some pointers. Got it. Ooh. Well, I'm pretty sure that it's the blonde dancer, just thematically. Off in the corner of the hall, I spot two figures chatting on their lonesome. The older gentleman I eavesdropped on before, who was against this idea, and it's that dancer from before, the really pretty one. I look through the list of names Crow gave me until I spot her in the list. Irina Lebekstev. Irina, huh? I finally know her name. I just wish it was from actually asking her, though. Amid my giggling, I noticed the jewel hanging around her neck, snapping it back into reality. Right, hide first. Heist first. Focusing my attention back on the task, I listen in on the conversation she and the man next to her are having. Try not to look so worried. How can I not, Inca? The whole situation is simply absurd. I can't believe you and the other dancers are being put through this. You know what the director is like when his mind is set. He and Mr. Wilkinson meshed well. Unfortunately so. Mr. Durov sighs before giving a worried glance at the jewel hanging proudly on Miss... I gotta get this name right. Lebedev? Lebedev? Lebedebedome. I wasn't even allowed to know who has the real jewel. All I can hope for now is that security will do its job. We can go back to the hotel in peace. As Miss Lebedev tries to ease Mr. Durov's worries, I notice that, compared to everyone else, she is quite tall. Even without focusing, I can pick her out of the rest because of her height, without using my binoculars, too. I knew she was tall when I bumped into her earlier, but it's even more obvious when she's dressed in civilian wear. I get the feeling that thief wants to climb her like a drainpipe. I look back down towards Max and his group, hoping to see if he'll let anything slip. In their little group, I can see two different conversations going on at the moment. Detective O'Malley dealing with Max, like you do, and the Chief talking to Sir Wilkinson. Which conversation should I eavesdrop? Well, let's hear more about these two for sure. I look over to our friendly detective, who is currently having to deal with Max going on about his genius plot. And while it was difficult to persuade Mr. Devereaux, it was worth it in the end. Even you can agree that the thief won't have their way so easily this time. But as Max drones on, Detective O'Malley isn't paying them any mind. Simply surveying the surroundings and keeping as many tabs on the floor as they can. He they then? He they? I don't want that. He's too smug to be a non-binary. Like oh well. Then they turn back to Max. Since this is your idea, I imagine you know who has the jewel? Of course I do. Who do you think I am, detective? With the jewel's current location, I can keep an eye on it quite easily from where we are. From where he is, huh? So it's probably somewhere close by. On the tallest girl. So you can keep an eye on it, huh? The detective simply stares, deep in thought, eyeing him up and down before responding. Show me your pockets. Huh? But do you assume I have the jewel on me? How absurd! I would never stoop so low as to making this whole game only to have it on me. If you're so innocent, then you won't mind if I conduct a search to make sure. I refuse! Why, if you so much as look at my coat pockets, I'll... Yes, detective, right away, detective. Yes, sir, yes, daddy. Without any hesitation, Detective O'Malley starts their formal search, checking every pocket and patting down areas he could have hidden the jewel as thoroughly as they are able to at the moment. At the end of it, however, they turn out empty-handed, left with just an angry Max. See? I told you! I don't have the jewel. Now apologize. For doing my job? For not trusting me. Am I really that untrustworthy? No comment. Harumph! Clearly offended by the detective's bluntness, Max turns away, refusing to speak with them anymore. Though the detective pays no mind, as they return scanning the room top to bottom from their current location. Okay. Look back down at the group. Let's see. I'm just going to go from right to left here. The older gentlemen are in stark contrast to the younger duo next to them, as the two of them joyfully trade quips with one another. And I thought for sure the old man was about to pop a left hook right in his face. What a tale! Amid their chatter, Sir Wilkins looks around the hall, eyeing all the jewels hanging around the dancer's neck with intrigue. You know, this is the first time Max has done something like this. I'm quite impressed by the hard work he put in to get all this ready. Oh, certainly. We worked together with the ballet company for ages to make sure everything was perfect. I should be doing an Inspector Clouseau voice, I think. You'd believe that the details went into making all the fix.
One can only imagine! Although I'm impressed he managed to convince the directors to take part in this, knowing full well how much that jewel means to the company. Is there some sort of arrangement they made while making arrangements? Agreement they made while making arrangements. Pardon me!
Nothing gets past you, sir. But yes, a few conditions were made by the director that had to be followed for this whole plan to exist. He wanted to make sure that someone who knows the worth of the jewel handled it, so no one on the force has the jewel.
Does that include yourself, Inspector?
Not naturally.
I see. What perfect sense.
The older gentleman continues to chortle as I pull out my phone and jot this new intel down. No one on the police force has it, huh? Makes sense. You wouldn't want someone you don't know handling something that important. Don't trust cops. Right in the middle of the hall is a trio of dancers chatting among themselves. In their group, I learned that they are Amelia Gray, Adrena Hill, and Alex Hayes, respectively. I do like Alex. Hey, do you think that Max guy would let me keep this? If it was one of the fakes, I mean. You know these are supposed to be fakes of that jewel. I don't mean the swan, I just mean the jewel itself. Even if it isn't the genuine, it's still so pretty to look at. I wonder how they managed to get so many like it. Miss Hayes, who has been silent this whole conversation, looks at her own and Miss Gray's jewels, intrigued. They probably use garnets for the fake jewels. I read online that they're often used to impersonate rubies, since they're the closest in color. Makes sense. I'm surprised you studied up on that. Did you do that because of the heist? Yeah, I wanted to learn about how fake jewels were made, and what that Max guy might come up with. You know, sometimes they use colored glass instead as fakes. It's honestly a kind of a cool read. Now you've piqued my interest. Share some with me when we're back at the hotel later, will ya? Miss Hill and Miss Hayes chat with each other. I can see Miss Gray looking fondly at her jewel. As she looks back up to rejoin the conversation, she tilts her head in confusion while looking at her fellow dancers. Hey, Adri, I think your jewel's a little dirty. Miss Hill abruptly stops talking and looks at her own jewel in confusion. It is? I haven't touched it at all, though. Though yours does look brighter than mine. And mine, too. That's weird. Miss Hayes takes the time to look around the room, staring at the fellow dancers and the jewels hanging proudly around their necks. From what I can see, there's only 3 of us that have jewels that bright. Magdala, Indram, and UM all have the brightest jewels. Arena. Okay. You have the brightest jewels. Wait, so does that mean I could have a real one? Maybe. If not, then you got the prettier fakes at least. Aw man, I feel really conflicted now. Only a handful of the jewels are bright. That means they're most likely candidates for being the real deal. Poor Miss Gray. Part of me hopes she doesn't have the real one now. It's Arena. We know it's Arena. I turn my attention to the quartet of dancers at the nearest wall of the exhibit room. And in that little posse, I immediately recognize the young couple as the lead dancer of the ballet. Skimming through the list of names, I learned that they are Magdala Volkov and Damina Petrov. Shouting out the lead stars are Anya, the shortest one, and Natalia Ross, who stands a little taller than the rest of her group. That one. Hey Magda, a little birdie told me you know who has the real jewel. What? No way, do you? For someone who was told to keep quiet, you sure are running your mouth. Ouch. Miss Volkov is living up to her name, I see. Oh, shush, Nat. But fine, I do know. The director convinced Mr. Wilkin to let me pick who has the jewel. Oh, interesting. That makes sense. It is your turn to wear it, after all. So, any hints as to who has it? Absolutely not. You're the most protective of that jewel out of anyone in the company. If you're not the one holding it, then who is? Come on, Magda. Inquisitive minds want to know. If I give you a hint, will you stop bugging me about this? Maybe. Fine. I gave it to someone who stands out, so I could see them from here. Ms. Volkov turns her head away in a huff. I'm not saying any more. The tallest one. Ooh, very interesting. How does anyone stand out? We're all dressed similar-ish. No, you're not. You're all dressed very... You're in a... Yeah. Interesting. I'm so confused. Straining her brow, Miss Mukovich starts fiddling with the jewel hanging around her neck. Miss Volkov, on the other hand, snaps at her the moment she sees this. Anya, will you quit doing that? Gah! Startled, Miss Mukovich quickly takes her hand off the jewel and hides it sheepishly behind her back. Sorry. I swear, no matter what it is, you always have to fiddle with something. You need to treat your jewelry carefully, fake or not. Huh, you never change, do ya, Anya? So Anya Morkovich has a tendency to fiddle with things. I'll write that down for later. Okay. Far off group. I look around the room until I spot a group of dancers by themselves near the farthest wall. Matching their faces to a list of names, I learn that they are Brianna, Jacob, Animara, and Tia. Ooh, the cutie's back. I like that cutie too. Hey, Brianna, what have you been looking at on your phone of yours for so long? Been throwing Sue Squeaker to learn more about the thief of ours. Didn't expect it to be this popular though. The tag's been trending for the past 2 hours. Let me see. Miss Fabron leans past Miss Lambert, trying to get a better look at Miss Riddle's social media feed. Dang, look at those squeaks. A lot of people must be head over heels for that thief. Some of these are pretty funny, too. I wish I was there. FNM, if you read this, I'm your biggest fan. Ooh, and this one. OMG, do you think they'll have to princess carry one of the dancers out? How did you do that with your mouth? No, never mind. But that's impressive. I guess there's more than just some glorified magician. I feel offended by that remark. Miss Riddle stuffs her phone back into her purse, replacing her constant scrolling with an annoyed tapping of her right heel. Ugh, I opened Squeaker to distract myself, but this is just making me more stressed. I wish I knew who had the dang jewel. Why'd they have to keep it a secret from everyone? I can kinda understand why. Trick your enemy and all that. Though I imagine whoever has it is even more stressed out than you are, Bree. Miss Murdoch places her hand on her chin and staring at her colleague in a commercial manner. Unless Brianna's the one that has it, hence her being nervous. Oh, shut up, Tina. What are you next, Holmes? What are you, the next Holmes? They all laugh it off, making the mood upbeat once more. You know, even though Tina was kidding, I could believe that you had the real deal, Bree. Huh? Why? You're one of the most trustworthy members of the company, not to mention just in general. Everyone can really rely on you, and you're nice to boot. I can attest to that. You, Irina, Andrea, and Alex are the most trustworthy out of all of us. One of these names just keeps showing up. If I had to choose who had the jewel, it'd be you or them. What? In the midst of Miss Lambert and Miss Fabron's flattery, Miss Murdoch lets out a laugh at seeing her friend's face turn bright red. Come on, you two. You're making Brianna faint. You're gonna make Brianna faint with all this. Look at her. She's turning you into a beetroot. Tina, shut up. The group playfully laughs together, seeing Miss Riddle so embarrassed. I like Miss Riddle. Meanwhile, I'm writing down some info I've gleaned from the conversation. It might seem minor, but trustworthiness could be a real thing to consider in finding out who's given the real jewel. Gotta consider everything after all. Clues. Oh, look at this. That's cool. Cutie. Okay. Clues. Yeah, I know it's... Okay, now I just have to chat. What's up, kid? What do you want help with? The jewel's appearance. Can you tell me what the real jewel looks like? Sure thing. I pull up the reference image Crow sent me and begins to explain. The Black Swan is a genuine ruby, so it's a deep, bright red in color. Maximilian most likely got the garnets to act as fake ones, so the difference will be harder to spot from where you are. How fitting. I bet they tried to make it fit perfectly with Odell's costume. What about that swan on the outside? The little guy holding our prize is made of sterling silver. Apparently, a renowned jeweler was commissioned to make it, and it needed to be absolutely perfect. Sterling silver, huh? I imagine that thing needs to be cleaned a lot. Talk about high maintenance. Yeah, I don't want to think about it. That's all the info on how it looks. Anything else? Jewel's history? Why is it called the Black Swan? Could you tell me about the Jewel's history? Something this special has got to have some kind of story behind it. It sure does, though it's a bit depressing. Oh dear. Depressing? Get comfy, this one's a doozy. Crow. Hydrate soon started to explain in detail. In the company's infancy, there was a certain prima ballerina. She was ecstatic, having just been given the honor of being prima right before the company's upcoming production of Swan Lake. But it wasn't the Odette role she was excited about, but the short role of Odile instead. In her words, she described the Black Swan as confident and beautiful, something she wished to be. Overjoyed, she practiced tirelessly day in and day out, hoping to perfect her role in her debut performance. As a personal gift for reaching the status of prima ballerina, she gathered all her money to commission a jewel for herself. The very jewel we were after, the Black Swan, which she nicknamed Odile. Oh, I see. The night of the ballet came, and everyone was ready to make this production the most memorable one yet. But right in the middle of her beloved Odile performance, she fainted on stage. She had overworked herself heavily and passed away in the hospital a day later. Man, you weren't kidding about being depressing. But if it was something she made for herself, how come it was worn at the show? That's because of the director at the time. Heartbroken by what happened, he made it so every prima ballerina would wear the Black Swan while playing the role of Odile, hoping to keep her memory alive and honored as well. Oh, that's really sweet. Yet Maxie here is using it to toy with me. Makes me want to punch him again. Down, kid. We've got a job to do. Fair enough. How old is the Black Swan anyway? It was made that long ago. It must be pretty old. The jewel itself is about 25 years old, and it's been taken care of incredibly well in those years. But considering the materials and its history, it needs to be handled with care. Alright. Anything else, kid? I'm done. Thanks all. No problem, kid. Good luck. I know who it is. I think I have enough information to make a deduction. Once I look over my information again, I can pick who I think has the jewel from my list on my phone. Let's give it a shot. It is Irina. Of course it is. I look over the information I obtained just to be sure in my line of thinking. Reading through it again, a huge smirk appeared on my face. My deduction starting to make sense. So that's how it is. After chuckling to myself, I pull out my walkie to contact Crow, who's been waiting for my signal on the other end. I figured it out. Get ready for the next stage.
On it. Good luck down there, kid.
After he hangs up, I pop into position with a little stretch. Let's finally get this show started. See, Detective, I told you. We're at the announced time, and look! Nothing. That thief wasn't able to figure out my puzzle, so I win. Oh, fuck. Huh? This is... The sudden darkness causes all in attendance to stop their conversations, looking up at each other. You would think... I don't mean this as a criticism, but if Forget-Me-Not keeps robbing the same museum over and over again with the same trick, wouldn't they put in emergency lighting at some point? Like a backup generator set up? Like, wouldn't... Because this seems to happen every single time. I'm just saying. While the dancers whisper to each other, unfamiliar with the situation, everyone else immediately springs into action. It's the thief! All officers, don't move a muscle from your positions.
Yes, sir!
Where are you going to show up this time, thief? Giving the detective a little tap on the shoulder, their face turns pale, realizing where I am. Why, right here, of course, detective. My apologies for the delay, my dear guests, inside and outside the museum. Welcome to my show tonight! Unable to hold in their excitement, the crowd outside the museum screams in joy at my long-awaited arrival. Forget me not! As per usual, the mood outside is in stark contrast with within the museum itself. I turn to the groups of dancers behind me, all whispering nervously to each other as I give them a graceful bow. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, dancers of Pavlov Ballet Company.
Hold it right there, thief!
I straightened back up and stared Detective O'Malley straight in the eyes. Good evening to you as well, Detective. So, you've finally shown up. I knew this distraction wouldn't keep you at bay forever. You know me so well, Detective. In contrast to Detective O'Malley's determination, Maximilian simply stares at me, his face having gone pale.
You being here right now, that can't mean what I think it means, does it?
That I've solved your little puzzle? Why, yes, it does. I believe you said it yourself. If you manage to figure out which lovely dancer has the real jewel, then I concede defeat for tonight. Was that not what you said earlier, Maxie boy?
Maxie boy? Why doesn't the detective ever call me that?
Max starts sweating bullets at my jabbing remarks. Meanwhile, I spot Detective O'Malley and a handful of officers trying to hold their chuckling at my playful nicknaming.
Even if I did say that, do you really think I'm going to just let you take the jewel? Security! Mods! Mods!
In the corner of my vision, on cue with Max's statement, I see numerous officers standing their ground next to the assigned group of dancers. Instead of being intimidated, however, I can't help but let out a small laugh. And what are you laughing at this time? You can't possibly think about succeeding, are you? You seem quite confident, Detective. We simply learned from your little trick last time, so both the breaker and any other light sources have been secured. Even then, the jewel is on a person this time, which makes it impossible for me to take the jewel off them in a timely manner, is what you're saying, correct? You're right. This is so foreign to me. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I comically tug my taller, gazing around the room with a sad look on my face. So stuffy in here. Must be all these people. Let's fix that, shall we? Wait, what are you... Before Detective O'Malley can react, I pull a remote from my pocket and push it. Soon after, the fans and vents of the room start blowing harder, creating a strong wind that circles the room, and also reveals...
What is this? Feathers?
The whole room becomes engulfed with countless feathers detaching themselves from their hiding spots in the walls. Amidst the chaos, the sudden swarm, I start running over to my target with my walkie in one hand, giving orders to Crow. Stage 2 is go!
On it.
Stuffing my walkie back into my pocket, I make it to my target and quickly ring one of my arms around her waist. What are you... I suggest you hang on tight. As the officers notice me making my move, I pull out my grappling hook and aim for the ceiling above me. Of course she has a grappling hook! Whoa! Good move. Good move. Zipping at top speed back to the roof, I spot the detective pushing through the feathers to the nearest employee stairwell. Forget me not! Escaping in the Chaos exhibit hall, I make it to the quiet rooftops away from the museum, and Miss Lebedev in my arms. As I try to put my grappling hook away, my grip on her hip slips, causing her to fall out of my arms. Watch out! Ooh! 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 Ooh, good. Good. I quickly catch her, wrapping both arms around her neck as she instinctively wraps her arms around my shoulders for stability. Are you all right? I'm fine. Our eyes lock for a brief moment, the glow of the city behind us barely illuminating our faces, as I quickly scramble to get her back on her feet. I am sorry about that. You're not hurt or anything, are you? The ride-up didn't cause you any damage or anything? But Miss Lebedev doesn't give me a response, semicolon. She simply stares at me with a confused look on her face. And then the most bizarre thing greets me afterwards. She let out a cute laugh, the first I've ever heard like it. I was expecting her to yell or perhaps fight back, but instead, she just laughs. What's so funny? You're so different than what I imagined. The way Mr. Wilkins went on, I figured you were simply abhorrent. I fight off part of me that wants to curl up an embarrassed ball after seeing my crush laughing so adorably, to give her a response. Oh, Blaze. Maxwell doesn't know a thing about me. If you really want to know what I'm like, you're much better off asking Detective O'Malley. They practically know me like the back of their hand. I see. As much as I want to continue this idle chatter, I remember my task at hand and clear my throat to address Miss Lebedev directly. Miss L., I assume you realize why I whisked you out of the exhibit hall? So let me be blunt. You hold the real Black Swan, don't you? She delicately holds the jewel in her hands, semicolon, staring at it for a brief moment before looking back at me with firm resolve. I suppose there's no point in hiding it. You're correct. I do. But how did you figure it out? It's quite simple, actually. I overheard Miss Volkov and Max both state that they could easily keep an eye on the jewel from where they were. You're the tallest one of your peers down below, making you stand out amongst the others, even in formal wear. Plus, the jewel you hold is one of the brightest out of all of them, a feature that's reflective of the jewel's authenticity. I can see the surprised look that appears on her face as she takes it all in. But isn't that too little information to make a conclusion out of? Well, there's also the narrative direction. Oh, but of course! But that's why there's more. How delicately you handle your jewel comparatively, as well as remarks from your peers that you're considered to be one of Miss Volkov's most trusted companions. The former facts could be considered coincidence, but combined with the latter, it points to you being the true holder of the jewel. Does that help shed some light on my reasoning? Miss Lebedev blinks at me, stunned silent at my deduction before finally responding. Wow. You're sounding more like a detective than a thief, if I may be honest. Why, thank you! But... She pauses, turning away to think to herself for a moment before looking back at me. What will you do now? Take the jewel from me? You've already taken me this far. I am caught off guard by her blunt yet honest question. After taking some time to think it over, I look back at her with a soft smile. I don't normally do this, but keep it. Huh? You heard me. I've already proven myself to the detective and put on a wonderful show for my audience. I have no more need for the jewel. Besides, I pause for a brief moment, thinking about what I should say in the moment. Try to say something cool! Go for it. The jewel suits a beautiful swan such as you yourself perfectly. My hand flies up to slap my face faster than it ever has, immediately regretting my attempt to fight. No! Just commit to the bit! Just commit! It was the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life. It was pretty smooth! You're quite adorable for being a charming thief. I can feel my face turning the brightest red, barely unable to process the kind words she said about me. Off in the distance behind us, I hear a familiar voice interrupting our heartwarming moment. Forget me not! Stop where you are and unhand Miss Lebedev, Lebedev. They never fail to catch up with me, huh? Turning back around to my guest, I give her a graceful bow and wink. I hope you have a good night, Miss Lebedev. Deva-deva-lev. Farewell. Before our friendly detective can catch up to me, I start making my escape further down the line of rooftops to reconvene with my partner, who's waiting patiently for me. What took you so long, Hey, where's the jewel? I'll explain back home. For now, let's book it before detective catches up. Got it. Let's jam. The two of us climb down the rooftops and hop into our getaway vehicle, ready to take the long way back to the attic to lose the cops on our tail. And while I can't help gazing back from time to time, thinking about the moment I shared with the woman that captured my eyes, and the thoughts during the ballet... Oh! It's good. It's real good. It's real good. It's real good. Ooh, I like it. You can play the full game on itch and Steam when it releases. Which, I believe, it is relevant now to say that the Steam release, and I assume the itch release, I know for sure the Steam release, has gotten a 2.0 update, which I did similarly with my game, and is now better than ever with a full additional chapter, which I also put in my game, for you all to enjoy. Let me take a quick look here. I want to make sure I got this correct. Mysterious Thief Forget-Me-Not is currently $8.99 on Steam. I believe it's probably going to be similar price on itch. The 2.0 release just came out on June 20th. Oh, it's not out yet. It comes out tomorrow. Oh, 2.0 release comes out tomorrow. Cool. So we can definitely pick that up at some point. There is a big sale coming on. I don't know if it's going to be part of that big sale, but I will definitely be picking this up soon. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and leave a little Steam review here. Oh, wait. I'll wait. I'm waiting until I play the full game. I don't think the game's going to crash and burn. It seems really good. There's clearly a lot of care and love put into this. But I'll wait until the end of the day. You know what? I'll put up... They need reviews. I'll put up a review. After playing the demo, I'm excited for the 2.0 release. A lot of love already. And definitely picking up. Definitely enjoyed it. Whoop. Don't freeze on me now. And definitely looking forward to more. And I'll just add, we'll add after completing the game. We'll add further review after completing the game. Okay. I did not receive this product for free. I do recommend the game, and I'm posting the review. Sweet. Okay. Great game. And we get the fun little background music. But yeah, definitely go check this out. I'm sure it's already here. Go ahead and paste that. For anyone who wants to pick that up. But yeah, really fun, really good so far. I'm excited to see more. It takes its time. It's a queer game, but it's not rushing the romance, which I really appreciate. It's got its own thing that it's doing, and I enjoy that a lot. Really fun. Yeah, definitely looking forward to playing more. I don't know if I'll stream the rest of it, because it turns out streaming visual novels is kind of hard. Who knew? But definitely going to be playing more of it. I'll pick it up tomorrow, actually.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yay! It does indeed. It does indeed. Definitely worth it. So, if you want more awesome, cool Phantom Thief indie game, you could check this out, which we've already linked. You could also check out our game, Jill-O-Lantern Final Cut. I will go ahead and... There's not really any point in me linking it here, since I know everyone watching has already seen this game and played it. But there you go. If you want more fun, queer stuff, this actually has a rather similar tone. Well, I guess it's a little bit more slice of life. No, I don't know. It's just good. It's just good. I definitely would rate it very highly. Forget me not. But yeah. Let's see, is anybody else streaming right now? We've got a couple of viewers. Got a few. Doesn't look like it, actually. Nobody else is online yet. I can't see anyone. Oh, Gamma Chris is streaming. What's Gamma Chris doing? What are you up to? Air Ride for Pride. Oh, yeah, we're doing a Pride. Oh, they're also doing the support for Trans Lifeline. Yes, we will definitely go ahead and raid over to Gamma Chris, who is doing some support stuff for Trans Lifeline. Absolutely, we're going to do that. I hope you all enjoyed the show. If you're watching this in the past, or as a VOD, I should say, I hope you enjoy it. And definitely, again, go check out the game. It seems really cool. Where is that bloody button I need? I really should start getting this a bit more... We're actually unstable? Average bitrate stream is too high. Interesting. Well, we'll go ahead and raid. Thank you all for showing up. Hope you all enjoy. There he is. I hope you all enjoy and have a good day. Until then, go check out Gamma Chris, help support Trans Lifeline, and I will catch you all later, everybody. Bye!